Welcome to SSU Live. My name is Abraham DeWeese. We are the best in local Seattle sports. This is the Seattle Sports Union. I've got right here some wonderful articles on seattlesportsunion.com. I'd like all you guys to go check that out. And I'd also like to have you guys take a look at our Facebook page, that's Seattle Sports Union, and our Twitter feed at Seattle Sports U. Again, like I said, we're the best in local Seattle Sports Union commentary. And we saw quite an interesting week in sports. We saw the Seattle Mariners take a home and home series. They went down to San Diego, and they also played San Diego here. Mariners scored a lot. How much did they score, you say? They scored almost 12 runs per game. That's right. Check these scores out here. Back on Wednesday, the Mariners lost 6-14, and then the day after they won 16-13, and the 2 games before that, they scored double digits in each of those games. Again, this is 11.75 runs per game. This is an offense that's clicking, and I know you guys were excited as much as I was on Thursday night when they went down to San Diego, were down by 10 runs, came back and ended up winning the game 16-13. That is the biggest deficit that they've ever had, where they were down by 10 runs, and then boom, just came right back. Big props to Kyle Seager in that series. Kyle Seager had 2 hits in each of the 4 games against the Padres. He raised his batting average up to 295. Did you guys see that? Remember how we were all getting on his case? We were all on his case in April. 190 batting average, 180 batting average. Wasn't getting anything other than a home run. The defense was piling up. For it's called a switch, and they pile up to prevent the pull hitting. Last 2 months, they haven't been able to stop him. And he hasn't been hitting the other way. What's been different? Why is it that when they shift and put the switch in to move that shortstop to the second baseman side, what has Kyle Seager been doing? I'll tell you what he's been doing. He has been using a different bat. That's right. So for some reason, the bat that he was using, that he had been using for a long time, it just wasn't sufficient. It was really interesting. I was watching a commentary with I think it was Shannon Dreyer, and she was talking about it. She even interviewed Kyle Seager, and he said, "Yeah, the bat just wasn't working for him anymore, and just by switching the technology, it allowed him to get the bat head around and over the plate and to the front of the plate faster than he had previously been doing." And that's just, I'm not sure if that's just a lighter bat or if it's a longer bat or what have you, but it seems to have done the trick. Leonys Martin's another player that by changing his bat has found more power. I'm really interested if Edgar Martinez has been monitoring everybody and their swing styles. As the batting coach, I mean, this is what he's supposed to do, but I'm interested if he's taken a different approach with the hardware, with the technology, where instead of trying to fix people's swings, maybe it's just take a bat that's maybe an ounce lighter. You remember those old commercials, Edgar Martinez with his light bat? Maybe that's the case here. Be interesting to find out. Well, after winning 3 or 4 against the Padres, our true to the blue Seattle Mariners went down to Texas, went down to Arlington, tried to get some wins against the Texas Rangers. Didn't work. Did not work. Nope, not in the least. Friday they lost 3-7. Yesterday they lost 4-10, and today they got swept. They lost 2-3. This is a disaster. We were tied with the Rangers. We were tied with them just 3 days ago. We're now 3 games behind. This is a huge setback. This would be the 3rd weekend that we've been swept. Now, I understand the Texas Rangers are a very, very good team, and they're stacked offensively. In fact, in my preview article for this series that's on seattlesportsunion.com, I wrote about their offense and how they were going to probably win 2 or 3 games. Did not expect them to sweep us though. That's what they did. It's unfortunate because at that Global Life Park, that's the stadium down there, used to be called the Ballpark at Arlington. The Mariners historically they used to hit really well. Well, what we're almost looking at is not necessarily an offensive failure. Our offense is still pretty hot. It's kind of a pitching failure. You're looking at Felix Hernandez, King Felix, is now on the disabled list. And it was a strained calf, and they said that he got injured when he was celebrating last week. I don't think that's true. I think they're being a little disingenuous. By they, I mean Jerry Dipoto, the general manager, and Scott Service, the manager, and the coaches themselves as well. I think they're being a little disingenuous. I think Felix Hernandez has been injured for a while. If you look at the last couple starts, horrible, horrific, loss of velocity. You're looking at a guy who used to pitch 96 miles per hour. Now he's pitching about 90 miles per hour. And on a fastball, that's just not sufficient. That's insufficient. He's capable of so much more. And maybe a stint on the disabled list would be the best thing for him so that he can work out his problems, so that he can find a way to get his velocity back in a controlled environment. And I think that's what the Mariners are up to. I think that's what they're thinking up here in their heads. Let's take a look at some of the other pitchers, though. You look at a guy like Hisashi Iwakuma, a guy that came back, failed the physical with the Dodgers last year. He was set to get a big contract, but wasn't able to stay healthy and couldn't prove to doctors that he was healthy. Came back here for a song. I mean, we basically got a steal with him. The only problem is he's not very good. But what else? But what do we have left? Well, we brought up James Paxton when Felix Hernandez went to the disabled list. He surrendered 7 runs. That's not good. That's not good at all. That's not going to get the Mariners anywhere. Well, we have Wade Miley, veteran pitcher, but let's keep this in mind. Wade Miley's going to have some stinkers, and he did have a stinker. He had a really bad one against the Padres and gave up somewhere in the neighborhood of about 6-7 runs over like 3 or 4 innings. But Wade Miley's going to do that. He's going to give you 3 types of games: a really good game, a really bad game, and then a meh game. And that's what he's been pretty much. He's had some real stinkers. He's had some really good outings, and then he's had some meh. But that's kind of what you expect for a 3rd or 4th pitcher in the rotation. Nate Karns, he's been doing well. I like the guy. But there's nothing about Nate Karns that makes me say, this guy is the guy. This guy is going to be a bona fide superstar. No, he's just kind of like a Wade Miley. Meh. Take a look at somebody like Taijuan Walker. Yeah, the 23-year-old, the one that's supposed to become the ace of this team. He just has not been. You think you just go out there and just grab it and go be that ace. He has all the tools that you need. He has speed, size, all sorts of different pitches, but he hasn't been able to string it together in any kind of consistent manner. James Paxton hasn't either. Well, James Paxton keeps getting injured, but those two young pitchers who are the cornerstone of this team have really fallen on hard times, and we're seeing it with this recent Mariners slide. Well, the Mariners right now are 3 games out of first for the AL West, and when you look at what the Mariners have to come up against this week, and that's a 4-game set with the Cleveland Indians, makes you a little concerned. Cleveland Indians, these aren't the Charlie Sheen 1980s Major League Cleveland Indians. These are the Cleveland Indians who are 31-24 on a 5-game winning streak and have a stranglehold on that American League Central. They're actually one of the picks that a lot of people here at SSU thought we're going to go the distance. We're going to go pretty far, maybe even to the World Series. I didn't say that. I don't believe in the Cleveland Indians. But what do I know? I mean, I thought the Twins were going to be a lot better, and they're the worst team in baseball. It's funny. Sports are that way. Sports are that way. A team that is loaded and you expect a lot out of, they can be this, like Anaheim. Nobody ever thought Anaheim was going to be a terrible team. But once we start watching them, we realize, boy, all the issues, all the concerns were there, and we just closed our eyes to them. Oh well, Mariners anyway go into Cleveland, and this is going to be a very, very big series. After having just been swept by the Rangers, we now have to make up ground against that rigid, just strong pitching team. Now, all hope's not lost, because we do get another series with Texas again. Texas comes here to Seattle for a 3-game set. We can take them. We can take them here. We had a problem taking them down there. But I think we can take 2 of 3, or even sweep them here in Seattle. And I think that's something that we have, that we have something to look forward to. And you know what? I know we'd rather face terrible teams, but who cares? Let's face the best. Let's prove ourselves. If we can't make it here, then we're not going to make it through the rest of the year. I don't need to sit here and worry about, if the Mariners fall really far behind right now, maybe one day they'll make it. They won't make it. Okay, come on. Let's just watch them against the best teams. That's Texas, that's Cleveland, and then Texas again, and see what they can do. Well, they didn't do much against Texas, but we're going to get our shot again, and I think this is going to be very good for the Mariners, and we're going to have one heck of a run this year. I got confidence. All right, I know a lot of you longtime listeners are out there like, Abraham, you never have confidence about this team in anything. Yeah, you don't have confidence in their ability to pitch. You don't have their confidence in their ability to hit at home or away or anywhere. And I get that. But I bought in. I decided I'm going to buy in. What's wrong with buying in? Everybody's got to buy into something. I'm going to buy in to the Mariners. We play a game called Buy, Sell, or Go to Hell. You've seen us before do this game, and I'm going to buy on the Mariners right now. I know they just got swept by the Rangers, and I know they got swept by the Twins and the Angels several weeks ago. But the sum of the whole here, it shows a team that is actually very decent, a very good team. And now in a day and age where anybody can get to the playoffs, you just have to have a 500 record and you'll get to the playoffs. Wild card, whatever. But anyway, there's still a chance. There's still opportunities, what I'm trying to say here. All hope is not lost. And the Mariners need to pick themselves up by the bootstraps, go after these two teams. Go after Cleveland. Take 3 or 4. This is here in Seattle. Take 3 or 4, defend your turf. And then when Texas comes in here, you punch them in the mouth and you make them cry. Not literally. Well, maybe literally. Nah, not literally. But yeah, kind of literally. Anyway, let's go on to the Sounders here. I just want to throw out to you guys, there was a horrific defeat against the Revolution last week, about 8 days ago, and it was a team in the Revolution, the New England Revolution, that is terrible. That we pretty much match up better at every position, but we lost. Why did we lose? Well, you've probably seen why. There was a play where one of our defenders tried to clear the ball, hits Eric Freeberg in the stomach, and the insane ref decides, handball, free kick to the Revs. Free kick to the Revolution. Just give them free kicks. Give this guy a free kick. Give that guy a free kick. Well, you guys know, and free kicks in soccer pretty much mean doom, and that's what it did, and we lost to the Revs. A cellar dweller, bottom feeder, a game that we should have won, but we couldn't do it. And that has me really worried about these Sounders. Well, Clint Dempsey went to the U.S. national team, and lo and behold, what happened this Wednesday? Sounders won 2-0 against DC United. No Clint Dempsey. Yeah, that's your best player. That's your most popular player. but we won without him. Why? Well, maybe Clint Dempsey doesn't add enough to this team. Maybe Clint Dempsey is more of a distraction than he is a person who distributes and helps. I mean, Clint Dempsey is the best player on the Sounders. He is maybe the best American player that there is. But there's something about him. There's something about him where he doesn't come up big when you need him to. There's something about him where he plays a center attacking midfield but tries to be the striker as well and ignores Jordan Morris, our new young 21-year-old striker. There's something about him that he doesn't distribute the ball to the wings very well. And there's something also about his temper where when he gets touched, just tapped like that, he falls down and pretends he's injured. And there's a big complaint about soccer in general, are the people who fall down and look like they've been shot by a sniper but have never been touched. And that Dempsey does a lot of that. And we saw that in the U.S. game versus Colombia. The U.S. game versus Colombia, Clint Dempsey went down. Clint Dempsey argued with the refs. Clint Dempsey missed on key shots, for free kicks. And honestly, he looked terrible. And he did not look like a leader. Yeah, this is a guy who may be well past his prime. And not maybe. I'm going to make that call. He's past his prime. And seeing as how the Sounders won on Wednesday without him, won 2-0, maybe it's time to move on without Clint Dempsey. The U.S. national team might be better without Clint Dempsey as well. It looks like I was watching them against the Colombia squad. Our team looked old. They looked old, they looked slow, and they kept passing the ball to the other squad. Doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense. And I don't understand how to fix it other than just get rid of all the old people and maybe get rid of Jurgen Klinsmann. I know I was the one who wrote the article that said here on SeattleSportsUnion.com, I wrote, hey, give Klinsmann a chance. I said that last year. I said, give him a chance. Okay, we've given him a chance. I still think he's a really good coach, but maybe we might need to consider looking in a different direction and going with youth. Because what we see here in Copa America is a terrible U.S. squad. Colombia is not that good. They're not ranked very high. We're ranked higher than Colombia is. But Colombia looked like they played like a team. They played with each other. They look like they've actually done more than one practice with each other. Their passes were capable. Their shots were on target. They didn't cry writhing around on the ground as much as the American side did. I'd consider maybe going with a new coach for the American squad, and maybe perhaps getting rid of Clint Dempsey on both the Sounders and the American squad. All right, that's not going to be a popular viewpoint, I know, for a lot of Seattle fans, but let's face it, our Sounders are next to last on the table. That's the standings for MLS. And unless you do something big, like get rid of those players who aren't performing up to their contracts, or unless you get rid of, I know a lot of you guys want to hear this, Sigi Schmid. Get rid of Sigi Schmid. He's a lame duck at this point, and he's given a lot of good years. This is going to be the first year we're going to miss the playoffs, and perhaps it's time to go with some youth. His ways are old, and they don't seem to match the game that exists today. His ways seem to maybe work better when you have higher caliber players. But when you keep losing player after player every year, Obafemi Martins left this year, it's eventually going to take its toll, and it's an offense that does not look like it's geared towards Jordan Morris, who is the future of this team. All right, so I want to move over to the NBA, and my technical director over there, Bob Lucky, is just frowning and scowling at me. But I watched game 1 and a little bit of game 2 of the NBA Finals, and you're looking at a what is it? The greatest team of all time, the Golden State Warriors, taking on LeBron James and the Cavaliers. Game one, pretty much handled them. Today's game two, they pretty much handle them. I mean, it's less so of a matchup as it is a coronation. It's almost more of a defeatist attitude you must have if you're a Cleveland fan at this point. And I really feel bad for Cleveland fans. You're looking at a fan base that hasn't won a championship since the 1950s in anything. I mean, nothing. Not football, not baseball, not basketball, not highlight, curling, nothing at all. But as I watch it, I kind of wish we had a Seattle Supersonics team. I really do. Wouldn't it be more fun if we had a team to root for instead of just sitting there and huffing? And the other day, this was a while back, it wasn't the other day, it was probably about 2-3 weeks ago, went into a bar and I demanded that the bartender change the NBA game to any other sport. There's about 2 innings left of baseball, Mariners. I'm like, change it to Mariners. We're in Seattle. We don't watch NBA. And he did it. And there, I looked around the bar and I said, anybody here really want to watch the league that took our team away from us? Nobody said anything. So they changed it. That doesn't mean that last week I didn't get a little bit of a jolly, that I didn't get a little bit of a thrill about delighting in the Oklahoma City Thunder losing. Because I did. I got a huge thrill out of that. I had so much. I wrote an article called "I am unapologetic about delighting in the OKC Thunder losing Game 7." I am unapologetic, guys. If you are an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, I'm happy you lost. Look at this smile. I like that you lost. It's called Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude's a German word, of course, delighting in the misery of others. Well, you know what? You took our team. And I realize it's not the fans of Oklahoma City that took our team per se, but it's the ownership group that did. It's obviously the Seattle City Council that did, and all the other factors that went into it. Howard Schultz, what have you. Well, Oklahoma City went up 3-1. Yeah, they went up 3-1 on the Warriors. And it was pretty much over. I mean, they looked so much better than the Warriors. And I could swear Steph Curry was injured. And I thought, well, dang it, the freaking Thunder are going to go in and beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then they're going to claim, oh, we have 2 championships. The championship this year and the championship in 1979. Screw that. You guys don't have the 1979 championship. We have the 1979 championship. Seattle has the championship. Supersonics don't exist. You know it. Stop trying to claim it. Anyway, I digress. I went on YouTube. I went on Twitter, and I saw Bruce Irvin, the former defensive linebacker for the Seattle Seahawks, wrote this tweet: "OKC, ya ass should have never left Seattle. Payback's a beep." And I love that. That's awesome. Bruce Irvin, I know he went to the Oakland Raiders, and he's not a Seahawk anymore. But it's cool that he kind of still sticks up for us. Russell Wilson said similar thing. A lot of other local celebrities did as well. And that's really, really cool. I really enjoy that. I feel justified. I really do in feeling this schadenfreude. I mean, that was jilted. Stolen. It was stolen. The team was stolen. The Thunder owners are criminals. Well, maybe. I don't know if they're criminals. I mean, they've only been indicted on several criminal charges. One guy even took his life because he's indicted on criminal charges, but they're criminal. I think the Seattle City Council and what they did recently is shady, and that's me being nice. I think there's something shady about that whole process. And I know that the NBA is a out of control organization. David Stern, nobody likes him here. This new guy, I forget his name, nobody likes him either. what do they do? They go to cities all over the country, and they threaten to take away teams if they don't build new stadiums on taxpayer dollars. That's shady. It's disgusting, actually. But it's not just them. The NFL does it. Baseball does it. I don't know if hockey has enough sway to do it. They try, but I don't think they're. Soccer does it. Everybody's trying to screw the taxpayers out of money, and I get it. If you vote against, I've never been upset about anybody who voted against the stadium. It's never bothered me because that is your civil right to make decisions based off of what your tax dollars do. I mean, there's always a logical argument as to whether it's worth it or not. And obviously I fall in line with that. It does. It is a good use of our money. But it's really, really sleazy the way the Sonics got stolen out from underneath us. And it wasn't just the sleazy Thunder ownership group. It wasn't just the sleazy Seattle City Council politicians or the sleazy Howard Schultz or the sleazy NBA and David Stern. It's just the amalgamation of it all. And again, that's nothing against the taxpayers who honestly do not want to vote for this stadium. It's got to do with a lot of people that got rid of the team that we loved. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. But I hope the Seattle City Council enjoys what they did. I mean, they basically decided there will be no basketball and there will be no hockey in this city. And I hope the city of Bellevue does something about it. I think personally that Bellevue would be a great place to put a basketball or a hockey team. I think you could support it, and I think you could build the infrastructure, and you can give a big middle finger to the city of Seattle from across Maidenbower Bay. Just put that middle finger up and say, screw you, Seattle City Council. We took the hockey team and the basketball team that you didn't want. And then I hope they make tons of money off the revenue, and Key Arena can collapse in on itself, supporting, I don't know, monster truck rallies or whatever it is they do. Well, that about comes to the end of our show. I got out all my aggression there against the Seattle City Council, but I just want to let you guys know, do not pass up this baseball team, the Seattle Mariners. The sweep looked bad, but the prior week, taking out the Twins, or not the Twins, but the Padres was great. And then before that, losing to the Twins sucked. But before that, taking out all the previous teams, and there are 31 wins. I mean, guys, you got to get excited about this. I'm going to be down there next Friday. I'm going to go check out the game and against the Texas Rangers, because I know we can take them. We can take the Indians. We can take those Rangers. And it would be so fantastic after 15 years to finally be back in the playoffs. We've deserved this as baseball fans, and we're going to get this. I mean, let's face it, the Sounders aren't going to get there this year. I was watching the Seattle Storm. If you like women's basketball, I kind of like watching them there on Joe TV, and I don't think they're getting there. They're in rebuild mode. Until football season, it's pretty much Mariners, baby. All right, guys, check out our articles on SeattleSportsUnion.com. Please leave comments below and like us here on YouTube. Like us on Facebook as well. Just go to Seattle Sports Union and like us on Facebook. Go ahead and go to Twitter. Sign up for all our great tweets at Seattle Sports U. Again, my name is Abraham DeWeese. Behind the camera there is Bob Lucky. We are SSU, and we will see you next week.